Welcome to Gestalt Poetry Open Mic for June 2023. Thank you for being here. So, happy summer solstice. It's a beautiful time of year. We all bring unique voices and stories. We are blessed to be with each other today. Our featured poet today is the brilliant Spoken Words. Before we get started, our featured poet for July 22nd is the always thought-provoking Kate Jenkinson from the UK. To stay tuned to Gestalt, visit amyhoskins.com/writing, and I post the events in there, the Facebook events. And today we'll begin with our fellow poets first, then our feature poet. And if you'd like to perform, just send me a direct message in the chat and I'll add you. So I don't think our first poet is here yet from Greece. It's very late there. And I don't see KHAOS. We'll probably see him in a little bit. There we go. Is Lucia Daramus here?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome. Would you like to go first? Is it a good time?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, good. Welcome.
Yes, my first poem, The Truth of Mental Health, by Lucia Daramus. Fog and solitude between our room and the green-yellow hospital's park. Suicidal death. They were instantly forgotten. Sandwiches with cucumber inside, on a table in a dining room. And patience. People are judging some of them. They said, patients have no imaginary dreams in their minds. But you have to listen to the truth. What is the truth? Asked Pontius Pilate. The truth is like a cherry, which is growing up between leaves. And like them, the truth is not only red. The truth is green for some eyes. The truth sometimes is like a nut, which is hidden strongly in this fruit, and is hard to get inside. You have not to despise the cherry, not to despise the nuts, because they beautify our lives. The truth is like an egg, so consistent and so fragile. Do not despise the egg, because in yolk there is the truth of life. For philosophers, this is a provocation. Yes, a provocation of life. Ask cherries and nuts and eggs, which are dancing secretly inside a yolk of life in Eroica by Beethoven. Why Eroica, a classic or romantic yolk of music? What is the truth? What is the truth? Fog and solitude between our room, hospital room, and the net with stars flickering in the silver of night of our windows, hospital windows, and the heroic blue harmonic music in illness's mind. This was my first poem. The second one, Dot of Life by Lucia Daramus. I'll not kiss the river which is flowing by house in yellow color with a brown roof in old Linton beautiful town, because I don't want to destroy the light of the dot of life. I'll not kiss the cross in Lincoln cemetery behind the church dressed in old stones, around dancing raw grasses and white wildflowers, iron leaves of ancient trees, because I don't want to destroy the light of the dot of life. I'll not kiss the sky above the valley of the rocks, down to Linton town, rocks which are whirling around the blue sea, which dance in humanity's perfect storm, storm of infinite and storm of death's butterfly, because I don't want to destroy the light of the dot of life. I'll kiss all of this in my dream, rivers, cross, sky, rocks, grass, flowers, because I want to conserve the mortal in immortal, in an infinite of universal soul, because I live in the light of the dot of life. And the last one, it's short, in Italian language, l'amicizia è eterna, Lucia Daramus. Passa la luna e di lontan rivela, l'infinito racconta che la sensazione straordinaria di perdersi nel mare, mare dell'immaginazione, l'armonia per questa vuole, primavera di torno, ornare l'infinito dell'amicizia, umana prole cara agli eterni, dolce è amicizia e la notte, e senza vento, e fango, e il mondo, la terra, la vita umana, e il fatto, o natura, questo è il mondo, all'apparir del vero, e del perduto impero la primavera tra noi e l'amicizia eterna, cantando vai finché non muore il giorno. Oh cara luna, oh cara luna. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. So beautiful, so lyrical, and I love your use of color throughout. And the image of the metaphor of the cherry was astounding. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, KHAOS, would you like to be next?
KHAOS?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Sorry, fellas.
No
Y'all
worries.
y'all know that I don't know nothing about machinery.
Oh,
Okay, so let me try this one. This one is called childhood. Childhood. Well, your childhood. All right. When I was a child, we only played at life. There was the noonday sun, a safe place to run. It was all just innocent fun. And we kids were truly people our parents could adore. We played games in the street. There were sweet things to eat. There were no dangerous strangers to meet. These are things kids are made for. An adventure was a trip to the corner store. Once we were turned out into the yard, we took it to heart. It was fun, fun, fun until it got dark, and every child there had a part. We played lots of games: tag, Simon says, dodgeball, stickball, flag football. We played them all. Remember how there was always a big dispute because no one was ever sure who had the winning score? We even danced to the doo-wop music that drifted through our mother's door. Girls were sweet and soft. Boys were rowdy and lost. But we were loyal in our friendships at all costs. We wrestled, we roughhoused, we walked, and boy, could we talk. There were noonday naps they made us take. We thought the mean homemade ice cream. There was sun so bright it cast blue haze. There was always new and wondrous things to amaze. Are those days gone to return no more? Now that I've grown old, I long for those days like never before. I wish once, really, just once, life would relent and allow me to repent and return me to the purity of childhood's door. That's called childhood. Let's see, the next one shall be Saturday. Today is Saturday, is it not? It's Saturday. I awake. I'm feeling free from all the stress that Monday through Friday may bring. The rains are gone. The days are growing warm. It feels almost like spring. Enter, sun, and bring back to me that loving feeling. It's Saturday. She awakes, smiling, stretching, so attractively trim. Speak to me, O vision of loveliness. Why did you choose me over all of them? It's Saturday, and they awake, running, laughing, squealing, 2 miniature containers of energy. They beg me to be included in their play, making me love the fact it's Saturday. Thank you. My name is KHAOS.
I love you. I love your stories. I love both of those poems so much.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Next is Jackson Elliott here. No. Susanne West.
Oops, okay.
Welcome.
Quick, let's see, eyeglass switch. All right. Tears and wings. A heart betrayed, frozen, empty mother arms. The burial, the child leaving, the friend left behind, the fire that took the past. We were almost unfindable in the dark, almost buried with our beloveds, almost trapped in the underworld. The shadows, though, shaped us, sculpted a new form, born from the descent into the other places the sacred lives. We are weathered and scarred, weathered, scarred. We have wrangled in the shadows, and we have learned the songs of each loss. Our light still glowing in the ashes, light that will not be extinguished. Wings sprouting, wings rising now, ready to fly into the tired arms, reaching for help in their dark night, in our aching world. Then, short ones. This is called Enter. Enter the eyes of the shunned ones that lead to the heart, that leads to the hurt, that leads to the infinite, that dissolves all the names that made us two, that remember us now as one. Couple of micros, and that will be it. Surrender is always growing the spacious, not knowing mind. Introducing the clenched mind to the vastness, one gateway to love. Thank you.
Thank you. So profound. Very well crafted. I love your use of imagery, and the mourning, the grieving one was so on point. It was just wonderful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Is Ika Waltz here? No. Let's see. Epiphany.
Hello, hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh yes, I'm thoroughly confused. I came
Oh,
on
I'm
and you guys
sorry.
are already reading.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I've been traveling, so I'm a little bit confused. But so just reading a couple of pieces, is that what we're doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Has spoken word spoken yet, or
Oh, not yet. Oh, I've been
okay,
behavior. I've been listening to this dope.
okay. All right. Well, hello everybody. Okay, I got a piece that I'm working on that I would like to share. Well, I'll do two. This one is called Silent Sage. Per her usual habit, a sage sat beside the river to meditate. An aspirant, deeply admiring her practice, sat beside her. She moved and sat some distance away. For hours, he watched her, observed her precise stillness and calm. Finally, she completed her practice, folded her mat, and walked towards her pupil. Excitement filled his heart. He smiled. She spoke. Listen to the sounds of your own silence. My silence. His eyes sat in silence and found his calm. That's that piece.
Cool. Hello, everybody. I'm Pyro. I write poetry sometimes. I'm here to support my bro, Spoken Words. He woke me up today, so I made sure that I didn't, miss this opportunity. So, yeah. I'm gonna, yeah, no problem, brother. I'm gonna do. I have a couple poems. I'm gonna do this piece first called "Survivor's Guilt." So we'll see how this goes. Survival. The act or fact of living continuing longer than another person, a continuation of life despite difficult conditions. Guilt. The fact or state of having done something wrong, a feeling of worry, unhappiness, or remorse for an offense, whether real or imagined. Sometimes I wonder why God decides to pick roses that still need time to grow. He can take you while you're young, and he can take you when you're old. If heaven had visited ours, I'd visit every day just so that I could see my sister instead of connecting with her in my dreams. On February 5th, 1992, Virginia Marie Brown graced the earth. Her smile lit up the world. Her presence made Connecticut feel loved, but I knew her as Jenny. Jenny was more than my sister. She was my best friend. I knew love was real because I was related to her. Different in blood type, but united by the same last name. She survived through the pain and her spirit never changed. Jenny fit the description of what it means to be beautiful. When I needed inspiration, here was Jenny. When I needed someone to tell me who was right or wrong for me, there was Jenny. When I needed someone to keep me in line so that I could stay in tune with my purpose, Jenny was there. But on March 11, 2016, my heart left my body when I found out that Jenny had passed away. To this day, I wish that I could trade places in that car accident, and time again, I replay this memory in my mind, beg and plead with God, asking him if he could just erase her tragedy from the news, wondering why at the age of 24, why he decided to call my sister home, questioning why I let time slip away from us. I still wonder why my sister had to take her place amongst the stars so quickly. God, please answer this question if you hear me. I'm guilty for not holding her the many times that she needed me. I'm guilty for not going out with her to that party. I'm guilty for not holding her hair tighter after Bible study. I'm guilty for not appreciating when she tried to hook me up with a lady. I'm guilty for not taking her calls when she needed to vent to me at night. I was stressed out in college and always in the fight. It's not an excuse. I blame myself because I should have spent time with her. While I write this piece with tears falling from my eyes, God, please, if you hear me, if you allow Jenny to come see me tonight, tell her that I apologize. I'm sorry if I let you down. Now I have to speak to you and you're 6 feet in the ground. I wish that Jesus would come back and bring her back to life so I could watch her walk down the aisle and become a wife. This is my survivor's guilt. These are the scars that I cannot heal, but maybe that's the price of love. Sometimes you have to lose someone in order to remember how valuable they are. And even when they pass away, their memory will never fade away. You can never let go of the person God sent from above. They're still a part of you. I pray that when my time comes, God opens his doors, allows me to repent, for me to hug my sister and see her. Dear Jenny, I wish you had more time. I grew old past 50. I didn't want you to leave the family so quickly, but you're with God now, so I can't be angry. Rest now. I'm protecting our siblings. I got mom and dad. Please forgive me if I let you down and for the times I made you mad. You're the worst heartbreak that I've ever experienced. Yeah, you still give me signs that you're all right. I don't need to be curious. Jen, you're in a better place, a place where I want to be. I miss and love you. Save us behind the mansion. And the last piece that I'm going to do is entitled Flower Child. A flower child dances in the breeze with petals soft and colors bright. She spreads her joy with grace and ease and fills the world with pure delight. She sings a song of peace and love and whispers secrets to the wind. Her beauty shines from high above and touches hearts both pure and thin. Oh, flower child, you are a gem. a symbol of all that is good. Your spirit will not be condemned, for you bring hope to the misunderstood soul. Dance and sing, sweet flower child, and never let your light grow dim. For in your presence we are beguiled, and our souls are lifted by your whim, flower child. Queen of melanin skin, keeper of the world, mother to the earth, your complexion is not a jail sentence. Madam Sugar, the only time you'll be arrested is when I arrest you in love, Rose of Sharon, a flower that blooms despite concrete trying to hinder it from growing. Be free, embrace your power. Remember why you're built to wear the crown, flower child. You are forever loved, sincerely, the ground where you're able to graze, also known as your king. Pyro, thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The first one was so moving, so wonderfully expressed, wonderful storytelling. And we were all totally with you there. And the second one too, just the expression of love. Thank you
Thank
so much.
I
Thank
knew
you.
Pyro, I knew you was gonna do that. I knew you was gonna do that.
It was wonderful. Thank you. And now we have Christine Dickinson.
Oh, thanks, Amy. So I'd like to read this one that I've got in Finn's book. So this is just for those who are over 70. And you wouldn't believe it. Oh, there it is. But my marker just fell out. 70 years in words. We can rely on books, real friends, intimate, in step with the way we feel. Loyal for 70 years, they wait, slipping into my hands at the day's end. The finale, removing a bookmark, sets me adrift. It's the close of courtship, a soulmate beyond reach, children scattered. Time on my side, I dip into a shelf, favourites, pick to save, keep, a life. Ride fingertips along the spines. Aliens hide amongst the treasures. The title of one, once prized, gone, clean out of mind. A first line rings no bell. No warmth in memory revives themes. No gleam from the cover. The listed work sparks insight. I chose this novel, thrived in its world, transfixed my chair, wallowed in twists of plot, dived into rich prose. The fresh voice phrases tested what I knew. Maybe I have read too many words, grown into an unworthy reader. I've lost the key secrets we fanatics shared, the map mislaid where treasure is buried. In this 8th decade, I must reassess, shake the dust from my old tomes, retrace the well-thumbed pages, look back at each book, welcome change, a new stage, the reliving, an upgrade, like moving home. And then I've got this one modestly titled, All of My Lives. I covet my lives, some I lost, the one I own, even the crazy days, the unhappy hours. I want all of them here, lining my pockets, jostling with keys, screws of tissue, polo mints. I crave all my friends, some I miss, the ones I see, even the unhappy souls in restless hours. I want all of them here at my right hand, wrestling with cares and making a joke of it. I'll brave the critics, some I know, the ones who hide, even a righteous voice blighting a happy hour. I want all of them here, keeping an eye out, upsetting my thoughts and telling me how it is. I'll save the lovers, some who left, the one I kept, even the wreckers of my happy hours. I want all of them here, riding in my car, rustling with maps, helping me steer where I like. I love all my lives. Some I lost, the one I own, even the crazy days, the unhappy hours. I want all of them here, lining my pockets, jostling with keys, screws of tissue and polar mints. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Wonderful detail. Love your storytelling every time. Thank you.
I really like the line where she said she wants them in her car, fumbling with maps, helping me steer. I saw that visually. Like, I love doing that with friends. So
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we've got Ashley coming in. Let's see. Clive, would you like to go next?
No.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to do two in a little bit, I suppose. The first one, this was actually written as a song. Now, I've got no musical ability whatsoever. So if anybody wants to put it to music and win me either a Novello Award or win the Eurovision Song Contest for me, that would be wonderful. And yeah, and I must stress that it's complete fiction and absolutely not true, as you will, I would hope, realise as it goes along. It's called I Need to Tell You. There's something I want to say to you, some things you probably never knew. It's time to let my true feelings be known. We only live once, I know this is true, and my declaration may come out of the blue, as you seem to think my heart's made of stone. So, I want you to know what you mean to me. You're more to me than royalty. That's not saying much in all honesty, because they're scum and always will be. And if I'm honest, you make me sick. You're as much fun as a day in court. You smell like a fart let rip with force. Okay, you're not quite as cold as a corpse, but I'd have a better conversation with a horse, because I think you're as thick as pig shit. Around you, I'm in constant fear. I think you gave me gonorrhea. I know this may be hard to hear, so I'll shout it very loud, my dear. You gave me the fucking pox! This is what you mean to me. I really don't like you, can't you see? Me loving you was a fallacy. Now you give me a malady. You make me feel sick. You're as much fun as a day in court. You smell like a fart let rip with force. Okay, you're not quite as cold as a corpse, but I'd have a better conversation with the horse, because I think you're as thick as pig shit. So fuck off. So that's that one. The second one, some of you will have heard. Quite a few of you will have heard, actually, but I've been writing a lot of stuff in the form of letters or emails or whatever. And I think last time I was here, actually, I did one, how to apply for a job that you don't actually want. And this one is how to write a job reference for someone who thinks you've forgiven them. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to supply a reference for Billy, or Sweaty Bollocks as he was known in prison. Not without some justification, I'm led to believe. I met Billy in the heyday of football hooliganism. Admittedly, I was doing a stretch for attempted murder and playing Adam and the Ants in a public place. Sentences were running concurrently. But I looked up to Billy for having the courage of his convictions in his hatred of Oxford United. Okay, he took it a bit too far, but he was young. We became friends and committed a few armed robberies together when we were released, but we never got caught as we framed the local Tory election candidate, who incidentally is due out in a couple of weeks. But I can honestly say he has definitely turned his back on violence and did some voluntary work as treasurer of the Bowls Club until they went bankrupt. You would be lucky indeed to employ someone of Billy's quality. With what you pay, I have to think back to the days where he would only consider working for you if he was eyeing up embezzlement opportunities, to be honest. What giant strides he has made. On the hygiene front, I'm told his bollocks are no longer sweaty, though I can't attest to this. I'm sure that provided you allow him to smoke weed on duty, he will be a loyal employee. He is intolerant of heavy-handed opposition to drug use at work, but he maintains that the shrooms were not his. I hope you will give him the job, as he owes me that $5,000 I lent him to bribe the coppers, and I want it back. He is not an arsonist. So that is the reference for someone who thought I'd forgiven them. And finally, this is very short. I've been writing a few Cleryhue or Cleryhues, whatever the plural is, recently. I think they're great fun, and they're fairly easy to write because, I mean, the whole purpose of them is that they don't scan and you know, whatever. But I wrote one for a British politician who the British people will obviously instantly recognise, and the others will never have heard of him because they're an absolute nobody. And the Cleryhue goes like this. It's in honour of Schubert. This is Oseman's unfinished Cleryhue. Jeremy Hunt is an easy target. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So clever always, so funny. Thank you so much. And I'm really excited that you're writing more narrative now, right? Flash fiction?
Yeah, I've started writing flash fiction. I'm in the early stages at the moment. I've been reading plenty and learning what to do and what not to do, and probably completely ignoring it as I usually do. But I'm giving it a go. So hopefully I might have some of that to share soon.
That'd be great. Thank you. And now we have James Floyd.
Thank you, Amy. I had trouble getting in. I got about 3 short pieces. The first one is titled Borders. Hell hates humility. Heaven will remember the selfish prayers and vain daydreams, pious elders who tithe and cheer naive youth off to war and pine their patriotic tombstones that stand as stubby monuments to the implacable delusion of a fabricated world held together with slogans, cliches, and paradoxes, and imaginary lines that move across his face like so many unholy worms, blazing insidious trails that lead to no conclusion, but beg the question, if this makes no sense, maybe it's because nothing does. The next one is titled Without, and it's from my book, Some Gentle Moving Thing. It's been in print for about 20 years. You can get it on Amazon. Without. There's room for one more tree someplace in the forest. There's space for one more blade of grass in the meadow. One more flower is welcome in any pot, of course. We'll make room for one more hungry Black child in the ghetto. One more drop of rain won't overflow the sea. One more dollar won't be a plenty. One more dream won't bring my hopes to me. One more Indian child denied is far too many. One more day brings me closer to another year. One more night closer still. One more thing cling closer to what I dread most and fear. One more anybody's child's dreams going unfulfilled. Okay, this This one is tied. I said this one before, and I will say this one every chance I get it. Every time I get a chance to say a poem, I'll say this one because I think it needs saying. It's titled Devil's Creed. I have no shame for the rivers of blood I have shed. I respect only power. I deify the evil dead by honoring slaveholders and Indian killers, naming holidays for treaty breakers and fork-tongued wheeler dealers. There's no need for me to justify the things I do. My truth is a lie, so my lies are true. I glut the natural resources of third world nations. I invented terror and genocide as tools of public relations. I create radioactive filth, spread pestilence, disease. At the moment, I'm in the process of ridding rainforest of their trees. I have weapons of mass destruction to create the proper atmosphere. I make stress the norm. That's why I'm here. I am the master of deceit, greed, and lust. When I am victorious, I will dance and piss on the dust. Thank you. That's all I got.
Wow, thank you so much. Your deep humanity and the human rights that you're speaking of and the natural resource rights and the indigenous rights. I really appreciate your perspective. Thank you. And now we have Radiant.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, welcome.
The first piece I'm going to share is called Journey. I journey alone for the fear of...
Something's going on with your input there.
I think somebody's mic was on. I don't know what it is.
Okay, no worries. Let me check. Let's see. Looking. Okay, I think we're all good.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Journey alone for the fear of attachment. Walk so long I forgot the sound of conversation that doesn't sound like mine. Mercy is the calling of my name when you give it tone and desire. Mercy is releasing the caged bird, though it wears captivity well. Mercy is breathing you in, exhaling instantaneously, fearing the residue of inconsistency staining my lungs. I am terrified of vulnerability, so I make mercy a promise to myself. Mercy is knowing when to let go, no matter how much it hurts. Mercy is not going back on your word, because you are worth more than the fear of attachment. The next piece is called Monophobia, or the fear of being alone. Before you, I thought I knew who I was to become. So certain of this skin in which I sink, a melting pot of every person I invited into my presence, presenting a being much more settled in her foundation than the earth I have used as mortar to build these walls. I sit in my fear like it is the most comfortable place I have ever known. I've spent my whole life attempting to fill the emptiness. A gaping black hole in my stomach consumes everything that heals me. And those who have kept me alive, I thank you for unknowingly feeding the beast. She survives all kind words and nostalgia. This body is no longer my own. There is no more monopoly with all these souls showing up to play. Watch me dance with loneliness. Although I am never alone, I seek the shadows and solitude to remind me of the dust of which I will return. Please don't leave me here. There's an aching in my bones, longing for connection even on the days I isolate myself into nothingness. I no longer want to believe the depression, or the voices, or the anxiety, or the guilt. I just want the dizzying cycle to stop, and I want to know the sun as the sun. I want to feel the rays on my skin without burning my joy alive. I do not know when I picked up this phobia. or whose name it carries, but I am ready to rest my burdens beneath the soil. And today, I sit with myself and do not fear the silence. And the last piece I'd like to share with you all is called Tonight. Tonight, I sat down to write a poem about anything but you. I couldn't deal with another unmasking of the truth. I sat for hours trading stories with the moon, hoping the gossip would boomerang back to you soon. We share in understanding I shield from the sun to salvage a piece of joy bright as the light you create in my chest each time you look at me. The moon mirrors your smile and I crave the perfection of your joy personified. My love, you are the only person I'll never stop searching for in a crowded room, because with you, I am more than anxious lighthouse, more than a healing force for people with no other escape. I become my own home in this body, manufacturing a place for two on the days you are too blue to fall into yourself. But what's the remedy for being alone in a crowded room, searching for a heart in full bloom in a garden you can't touch, when Atlas places the weight of the world on your shoulders and distance becomes too much? My love, I still talk to God about you. We compare notes and high five over the best parts. My prayers are sonnets about the symphony of your smile, the curvature of your lips, your hips, how we are walking riotous laughter, and I'm even in love with your brain matter. Your mind is a constant discovery of Eden. The entirety of your being is a masterpiece, and your words echo in the silence of my dreams. Calms me into a slumber worth relaxing in, a voice healing enough to find safety in, and there's no end to the magic tricks I'll conjure up to feel your touch and immerse myself in your love. I am the ocean and you are the moon guiding my tides. I know with time all things are temporary, but on this day, I rhythmically crash into the shore, hoping the tune reaches you before the hourglass of us runs out. So meet me in the sky, a horizon of blazing bodies, yearning for more than memories. Hold my hand and remind me of warmth. Create new worlds between our palms, eruption of galactic beauty. The stars are only alive in your fingertips, and I become a sunrise when we fall apart together. Before you, I was a black hole of a wandering heart. Gaping and destructive, I moved with the wind, broken and refusing to mend, collecting bodies in my wake while giving them nothing but my name. How patient must you be to love a hurricane? To love a woman while she is still learning to love herself out of the darkness, out of the cycles of self-sabotage and acceptance of systematic sunken places, my love. One day with you is worth 1,000 serene Sundays, and your love wraps this melancholy in melody. So let us sing a song of newfound happiness, where time is an illusion and distance only survives on maps. Atlas holds the world steady, and we two-step beneath the moonlight. I inhale your essence into me. And for once, the exhale doesn't feel like letting go. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. The metaphors within metaphors and the development and the flow and the deepness of the relationships in your heart and everything. That was just wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
That was dope, Radiant.
Thank y'all.
And next we have Nayma Chamchoun. She may have stepped away. Okay, let's see what we can do. We'll come back to Nayma. Is Tensei here? No? Okay. Let me try one more time with Nayma. Okay, let's come back to Nayma. All right, now it's time for our feature spoken words. I'll introduce you. This is his bio. My friends call me Spoke, and I'm an introspective slam poet based in Nashville, Tennessee. My friends and fellow poets recognize me for pushing boundaries and being a versatile and topical writer. I had the incredible opportunity to perform alongside Brandon Leake, the talented poet who won America's Got Talent, and I even achieved victory myself at the Vox Poetry Slam in, sorry, let me just check something. Okay. Victory myself at the Vox Poetry Slam in 2017. My work has been featured in various Nashville-based platforms, including the Vanguard, Copper Branch, Black Mental Health Alliance, Vanderbilt University, the City Winery, Soul Food Poetry Cafe, and Southern Word. On top of that, I proudly serve as a brand ambassador for Po Boys and Poets Nashville Chapter, an organization that hosts poetry showcases, live music events, ciphers, performance workshops, and open mic nights featuring both local talents and renowned acts. Please unmute and welcome Spoken Words. Welcome.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Man, that bio sounds wild. Yo. Like I decided to write everything. I decided to write everything that I could think of that I did. And I was like, let's just put it in a bio. So yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. So my friends call me Spoke, short for spoken words. So everything that I say outward, it's really just coming back to me. Man, I was listening to a lot of pieces today, and like I was witnessing a lot of imagery, things like that. So I kind of wanted to do a poem that kind of is based off of that a little bit, where I use that device a lot. Okay. She wasn't depressed, but she was pressed for the D. See, death was once in her grasp, but then she passed. No, death was the past, as memories ring bells in the key of life, her life so blatant, stuck inside a house that was not home. Though it was made in her image, we can see right through it. Her likeness, full to capacity with raging pronouns. Yes, she was transparent. See, life was a beach. Now life is just a glass slipper who clicks rocks by the bay. They say her doughboy was her babe, but he just pushed rocks from a glass house. Let's just say he whipped that cream for the cake anime. No filler, but many of us feel her posturing as her soul steps beside herself. Picture life, facing life in prison. This alone almost ended her. I mean, she really only meets her maker on Father's Day, but what God look like paying child support for life? She's so fast, so out of pocket, so toxic, so the hustle you can't knock it, so it ain't tricking if you got it, because she wasn't depressed, just pressed for the D. And she will be until her very last breath, knowing she hasn't lived since death, knowing Anubis makes wigs for Gail King to switch. Why? Because life is a dog head bitch on death row records. See, because if life ain't living, then she's leaving. You can hate her for whatever reason. People change like leaves. We all fall for a season. Some of us fall for the finance and the thrill, praying that good credit leads to goodwill. But hey, good head could lead to good meals. So if you're bringing groceries, you can't pull a seat up at the table. If anything, you might be getting eat at the table. They say life's a baddie who cooks food for thoughts. You might get some if you succumb to her ways, but just know whatever she wants, she can get it out of you. So if you got low self-esteem, she might bend you over and. So don't be so quick to get sprung. I know they say you can love her flaws, and it can be such a drag. I mean, I thought life was a bitch until I grabbed her by the balls. That's that one. That was that one. Yeah, so I like to in a lot of my pieces, I like to write like in character, or play characters. It's just something that I've like kind of developed into doing. So I've got a piece here. Oh, I always like this piece. I like this piece. All right. She pled, not too fast. Baby, slow down. Look, I don't want to be low down, but I just met you 2 hours ago and we're already at your crib talking about you want me to be your rib, but I doubt I could stomach that. And with no protection, I might have to stomach that baby fat. And look, I'm not the kind of lady that plants the seed with no soil. Yes, small water will break. Nah, more so just boils for you. Like, you must want me in labor, thinking my spoils for you. Like, what do you see in me that a mirror can't capture? One night stand could be a one night disaster. And I admit, I was overtaken by your shining cufflinks and your confidence fulfilling your outfit like a master of disguise with your hands on my thighs. Yes, I know the feeling, but I can tell your potential has a ceiling. Well, I'm grounded in moderation. I used to think these moments were outdated, but now I'm just intimidated in sexual frustration, like I'm weak for once. Strangely at peace for once, swept off my feet for once, for something else besides me for once. So before I crash, I need you fast. Can we do that? And I'll meet you back where I seen you last in your ski mask, where you kill me softly, strumming my pain, tuning me insane as your fingers ran down my body like rain. Never been so moist, I'm losing my voice and my goals. I can't follow my task. I'm lost, but I'm still trying to feel free at last. I'm close to the edge. I'm about to splash and you're racing through my body. I can't take it. Not too fast. Baby, slow down. That's that one. Cool. Yeah, so I like to play characters, and I think about, I really write about people a lot, and people in their different relationships. And I like to pull from me and my experiences, kind of like morph them into a beautiful fictional but real story. All right, this one is about a topic that I don't hear a lot about. It's kind of like a sibling rivalry against like brothers. All right, that. Okay. Older brother says, "Now look, little bro, you ain't gotta fit in. I mean, cause your head is just too big, too wide, too strong. Never let you feel like you belong, because to belong is to be of the essence, to be whole, to be all, to be broke with no paper. So you got to write off the wall to reach the frequency. Like Stevie wrote it and Mike said, hey, don't worry, it's all for frequency. Ain't this what it mean to be on the same wavelength? So don't let me catch you surfing the wave of anyone who never could see our color how it was meant to be. Like, don't let me catch you smoking with them white boys down in Tennessee. They might got a little grass, but I got some bigotry. Or I guess you thought you was going to move out of state and leave the tribe. Man, no one back home gets you. And these young boys playing with them new toys that'll come through and lift your block like jujitsu. I'll never let you go. I will never let you progress. You will not become the man I couldn't become. And I swear to God, I still remember your face at graduation, though I've been known to repeat, man. I've been known to delete friends. I've been over that beef, fam. Just stay in your lane. I mean, how we two brothers with different beefs, but sometimes I wonder if we'll die just the same." And the young brother says, "I'm so tired of being at conflict with my flesh and my blood. We struggle to bury the hatchet in the same dirt that was used to create the human body. I guess we forgot how God got us out the mud. Like, have you ever wanted to make it end where it all began? You ever look your big bro in the face like, who the better man? See, we were raised by Mother Nature, left by Father Time, who will only be backed by popular demand. But bet we'd even still back Pop's on demand. I mean, picture two grown kids and not even still could pop us back in the men. I always was taught to keep my enemies next to kin, and you were the favorite, the firstborn. It's like you could do no wrong. Your innocence reigned supreme. I mean, Mom said only rain when I had those dark clouds beneath my eyelids. I mean, I wouldn't say I had bags, but the lost luggage under my pupils never dried. I mean, my tears would swing from duck to duck, goose eggs in my snake eyes, especially when I saw you, spoiled, always lacking respect. It's like you was just too cool with me to take me serious. And I was too full of me for your cafeterias. You couldn't sit with me at the table. You couldn't fit me in your fable where chain smoke becomes fatal. Then Cain smokes Abel's, my brother's keeper, a grim reaper. Billy and Mandy never rep what we sold. I mean, what's the first thought when I say brother? Well, here's a black thought. The root word is other. When brother man becomes other man, you lose a piece of yourself, and then you aim a piece at yourself. I mean, why don't you ask G Money why I never come around, or ask G Money why I never listen to Bound? Because when the real holds you down, it's never Nino Brown. So forget you and tell them young boys with them new toys, gentrification lifts way more blocks than jujitsu. Oh yes, I finally got you speechless. And when they finally see the cracks and the relationships break even and I'm falling to pieces, broken glass like self-improvement, it cuts to put yourself back together, because when you got a history of misery inside your DNA and you mix it with some Sprite and a little E&J, you might just be at war with flesh and blood. Picture us, two brothers hydroplaning just to get it out the mud. And I swear to God, I feel it in my gut. It's like I feel away a ton. And though we both share names, we still two brothers with different beefs. But sometimes I wonder if we'll die just the same. That's that one. Hey, Amy, how long do I got? Because I can go. I don't know, like, I didn't really ask you, like, you know, I don't remember at least.
Let's go like 5 more minutes. Is that
Okay.
cool? If you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can,
Thank
because I'm
you.
just gonna keep going. I was just gonna go. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, listen to myself, folks. Speak as long as you want.
Okay. I appreciate the compliment. Okay. Let's do yeah, okay. Let's do that one. This one is one I always like doing. Yeah, it's kind of, I play around with the Garden of Eden story. Okay, so let's do this. He made meals out of the human anatomy, particularly the female. I mean, I'll spare you the details. See, it baffled me. Now, they say he's man, but he claims to be more so human in his nature. His wilderness dies from his very own vapors. Forest burning down from the jungle fever, but the bush stays around. You know their fruits are eager. And some of the stranger ones like to swing low from a sweet chariot grown by the slaves' religion, and the graves won't bury it. I swore I saw a harlot in the garden. She was trying to reason with that serpent of the season. I mean, y'all know the one that came from Eden? Well, peep this. In the evening, they both fooled man who came into Eve, and she sprouted a serpent seed planted by a heathen. That harlot went to put a weave in. Dug deep in the ground looking for the Indian tracks, came across a hatchet that read Cain's name on the back, but to man, she just came across ratchet. So I guess she tried, I figured, you know, he tried to use her to fix his habits. But her words ain't chiropractic, ain't no way that she could back it. Now the forest cannot flourish, and it's acting kind of whorish. Everyone's pushing daisies, fornicating with the florist, the tulips are a mess, damsels in distress. Man is a spawn and he's fighting with his flesh. That's the wilderness. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. And your embodiment of your characters is wonderful. You're just so in it that we're there with you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bear with me. Appreciate it. Thank you, Amy. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Sure. Anytime. And now we have Nayma Chamchoun, if that's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. First poem. A bird in two hands. I have felt the pulse from Tangier to Ouarzazate, in the rise and fall of clay peaks and valleys, ribbons of honey dancing on the periphery, in rhythm with my own, buoyantly beating back. I have laid back as you leaned in, beguilingly, exalted in the dawn of your eyes, dusk's shadows speckled on my thighs, welcoming the breadth and depth of you, smilingly. I have marveled at your vivid threads, embroidered into a foreign fabric, like a nuanced nomadic maverick, a tapestry of blue and white and green and red, licking my lips, seated at tables and on the floor, dipping bread as one with our hands as we eat. Trevor McDonald's voice on the news, somberly replete, and felt your kinship core. I have known your affection in the instance of recognition, a communion in one tongue, as your breaths filled the lungs, each enamored by the other, drunk on the heart's potion. I am the wren who flew to the ancestors' place, only to be seduced by Maghrib skies, to succumb to her spellbinding sighs, dressed in Monsieur's streaked red start tails. Thank you. And the second piece, Sad About Dad. Sitting in the garden and you in a hospital room, tenderness says, I must visit you, a reminder of better days, of the love buried in you, a gentle gift to lift the haze, a voice that brings passage from the vacuum. Cowardice flinches at the visit that holds up the mirror to the inevitable decay of the end of days and parting of ways, the insurmountable losses further down the river. It pains me to see you, a shadow of who you were, a spectre biding your time. It pains me not to see you, alone and confused, nowhere, waiting for the faces who ease time. Tenderness and fear, in softness, magnificent, malevolent with fear, a fearful tenderness. It is difficult to face you when compassion is challenged by contempt. Maybe I will face that demon if I can bear the strain. Maybe I am tired of demons and the pain they ordain, the cruelty served, so stonily indifferent, sitting with echoes of you. Thank you.
Nayma, you are a master. And both of those poems were so powerful and wonderfully presented as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, would anyone else like to read? I've got actually Finn. I forgot. Welcome.
It's okay. Hello. I forget things too. All right. I get you a couple of pieces. This Thursday, I'm being filmed at an open mic for to read a couple of poems for a film that's been made on grief and loss, I think. So I'm going to read this first one. It was written over a year ago. I think I've done it before. It's called Lost Love Letter. There is a distance, a space between us, a space where before it never has been. It was always you and I against the world, but now our edges have curled and turned away from each other, not bothering to listen for some reason or other. You expect me to listen to you, expect me to run to you, and never willing to reciprocate. Now, although I'm not hungry, my mouth still needs to eat because it is lonely. Kushibashishi. My life is the same. It was happenstance that brought us together, and circumstance drew us apart, and no one to blame. No shame, but no gain in staying the same. Not listening, just wishing things could be different. Putting our differences aside, our pride getting the better of us. There's a sadness in your eyes, an emptiness in mine. The candles we held for each other are slowly flickering out, leaving only thin, dark smoke smouldering into finality, and melted wax hardening like our hearts. There is no hate here, only regrets and memories. There were no warning signs, just a gradual dissipation of the lack of consideration. No full-blown fights, no half-blown fights, no fights per se. Just every day, the wideness grew between me and you. And the little things that meant so much before are gone, closed, like the living room door that kept the heat in. But the fire has gone out, too cold for even a spark. Now we sit here, each other in the dark, engrossed in our own thoughts, engulfed in our own minds, paying no mind to each other. There is a distance now between us. And the second one, I wrote, I think earlier on this year. Yeah, it's trying. I've got this fascination with time being very flux, and it doesn't really matter what time it is, you know. This is called flux. And somewhere in my past there's a future waiting to be found. The sound of memories, some broken or littered on the ground. My head recoils at thoughts unkind. A life that happened, whether you want it or not. The spot that never heals, conceals many flaws and laws that you never knew existed. Watch out. It will have caught up with you, taking you unawares as you stared into the abyss, trying to see what you might become, long past scared. Crimes with rhymes from time still to be, awaken the dead who are yet to be born, and forlorn hopes and dreams that in the future you had, erasing time before it gets here. But the truth is, there is no journey. We're all arriving and departing at the same time. And if you think, therefore you will be, as you are before. As the door to the past is a portal to the future where sutures help to seal the wound, but sometime alone heals them. You can scheme and plan and try to escape. The best is yet to come. And even Ornate Coleman knew, or he will know, that tomorrow is the question. Answer when you can, if you haven't already. Time is flux. It breathes in many places, checking you out as you check in. It will play with you, toy with you, and all the while keeping its eye on you, keeping time, dancing to the same song. You know, everyone remembers the music, but I do. And I can put the needle back on the turntable. It's not sliding doors. It's not the fork in the road. It's not a choice. Is it a flashback, flash forward to another time or some space? The lives we lead are like tracks in fallen leaves. The glitches that appear in your reality are just ripples, no ghosts, no mysterious shadows. It's neither here nor there, nor is, was. Death isn't the song's end, just punctuation. Thank you.
Also, wow, so wise. And I love the way the second one was flipping time around and playing with it. It was a very fascinating journey and not a journey at the same time. Thank you. Thank you. And now Kate Jenkinson, who is our feature next month.
Oh, it's been a brilliant evening. Fabulous headline and wonderful pieces. So I'm probably going to shake it up a little bit now. So I came out as a poet in 2016, and last year I did a TEDx talk and talked about business, being a business poet. And this is my manifesto for being a business poet. Call the poet. How often have we heard it, especially in the workplace, when there's been a crisis in our creativity or a vacuum in our imagination? Call the poet. We have an emergency, we need to do things differently, and we don't know how to do it. Call the poet. But what does the business poet do? Oh, I'm pleased you asked. Let me enlighten you with a perfectly positioned haiku. Feelings flow freely, experience grows value, everyone prospers. When the business poet extraordinaire creates human-centric workplaces everywhere. And so, my manifesto for change. I've challenged my future self with a vision of what could be, and this is what my poetic eye sees. My future self has created a new shelf in the local library of crossover literature, books that link business success with creativity. Together, we are better with art. My future self runs an agency for poets and matches business need for creativity to poets who inspire their future innovation strategy. Toxic cultures are neutralized and reimagined with the healing verses of the spoken word artists. My future self has found the poetry in business, and the business in poetry is redefined. It's not about being published, but seeing and being through a poetic mind. Organizations everywhere enjoy a poet to keep their human spirits thriving. And poets, we are finally valued for our art. My future self smiles appreciatively because we no longer give away our creativity for free. And people finally know what words are worth. I know the business world is not designed to be humankind, but being tough of mind is not enough to nurture trust. This has to start from a tender heart. I predict that workplaces will require a poet's gentle insight for creativity to come home and inspire the human spirit, which once lit in business will never expire. In the future, you will see that every poet will be employed successfully, leading the leadership with our empathy. Oh, yes, we will. And then a little one to finish because it's Pride Month. And this is a poem that kind of picks up on pride and neurodiversity at the same time. Twist the rainbow. Adversity constantly twists and strengthens me. If I seem permanently uptight, no need to ask why. It's the fibre of my being that's resisting society's pushing and pulling. My fists persist, persistently resisting the definition of what is. You might miss this immersed in your normality, whilst I'm wishing the world would realise I exist through the rainbow's twist. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So good. And what a wonderful vision in the first poem. We should all aspire to that. Thank you. Would anyone else like to read? Joy? Ashley? No?
I guess I could if you want me to.
I would love that. Thank you.
Okay. Let me pull. I've got things that I just wrote, like yesterday, and recent stuff. So I can't guarantee that it's worth a shit, okay? but maybe I'll try it out on you guys. Here's one that is a rewrite of something that I wrote earlier this year, and something happened that made me think I really needed to rewrite it. And I just finished it this afternoon, the rewrite. I have no idea if it's any good, and probably it's inscrutable, totally. So I'm sorry, but it's called, here, let me get it in front of me properly. It's called The Myth of Family. And I don't mind saying that I think, I'm not sure, but I think there's a bit of, something that you could credit with Pride Month or that kind of stuff in here. See if you can spot it. The Myth of Family. Awakening to hospital sounds, and it took everything I was to squint and reveal mother, grandma. I didn't know where I'd been, unbounded, uncle, brother, your greetings of disbelief, causing sister, each of you pause. Then if it were true, the gravity, presently, I felt you were my enemy. Incapacitated, made to exist small for your ambition, tiny as it was, your face, my prison, and that I'd grow out of needing you fast. Being nowhere, but sometimes in the joints, when this end to emptiness came import, why not? We all need all of us and more. I came to tenant this hunger. Into me settled a core, an anchor to her, always the world. The new person could not a lie endure. So ridiculousness of patriarch, parsing what's here to parse according to small-mindedness, like being hauled into beliefs of unseen men in the big sky, indoctrination, pigsty. Obstructions to proper connections. I badly want to sit still. Notice best I can, telegraphed in what's real. Life, its glory, all the human nation, all that's alive, what's not to, substrate, contrary to poison hate, instead great that every one of us is pink inside, worth the uncut price. I don't know, did that have some meaning? Did it hold together okay? So maybe that one's a little too shocking. I'm going to read this one I wrote just last night. It's called, I'll just read it. Poetry is not industry, a sonnet for Ian. The evening thins itself to gray, and I want, sorry, let me start over again. The evening thins itself to gray, and I try to compass what it was that we had when my girl of 14 was sent away from you to a cold, wet UK to board. I wrote young, dampened letters, how I wished you'd be forthcoming to steal me away. But now I want to say, and hope you know, thrift of heat on your part like few men did. Hey, what you did not do, lie on top of me. Thank you. Still, it was decades of dreaming until I got anywhere near this wisdom and unexpected soul retrieval glee. So many trappings disengaged, tweaking into a whole person who yet loves some. I don't know. So I also have this recently written. It's kind of a little bit long. I mean, you know, it's not even 2 pages, but kind of, for me, that's kind of long. It's got, I mean, this is an adult group, right? It's got a little bit of rough language in it. So I don't know. I'll try it out on you. This is called Vespers. It is written in a response to and in the form of a poem by Philip Larkin by the name of Obad. Obad refers to the dawn, and his whole poem is about the oncoming death. Vespers, of course, is the evening prayer, and mine is kind of the flip side, okay? Okay, here we go. Though I was already a weakened husk. You guys, this is kind of rough. There's like trigger warning here, content warning. This is a lot about abuse, okay? Everybody hang on. Though I was already a weakened husk, it was you, stepbrother Jim, who first saw fit at midnight to grope me and your junk. So for decades I knew, but did not, all about what death was and what treachery comes visiting women in their memory. There never arose a rhyme or reason to contemplate the end. I was living within it, all while writhing under the burden of their excretions. Too many to recall, really. Nick and Matt and Tommy and Tom, while I was drunk, which was exactly how I coped with tongues of Jimmy and nameless others in the dark. It's true that living was not a thing I discerned in me or around, but thigh-high recognition and no more, I will not, am not inclined to forgive, even if the absent me was in it, this scheme to validate with his cum shot. My only life took so very long to make that climb clear of its undone beginnings, to start to recognize its call to meaning, to some kernel of value within the dawns and days and the evenings spent between distraction and whatever transcends the pit I had existed in, where men saw no reason not to insert their own significance where was wrote my non-existence. A start to change when, like every good junkie, I hit bottom, awoke in intensive care, knowing that a fundamental sensation had been lacking or overlooked, now was attached. I trawled for years to find within religion, to fasten it and its incubation to what I have to glibly name rebirth. But to be sure, that mothy pretender, a tempter towards splendor, never surpassed sitting still and facing north. Now my life is much nearer its end than where it started, and where Clay and Sam and even Bob never saw the who I am. Nor did I, and nor did Ken, who couldn't do calculus. The evening's light filters in, but I don't have attention to fritter on death. That non-beingness acquaintance I already endured. Not fun, but blank, hard to recall, and no ankh needs soothe fears while I bask in youth's sun. And I would love to do just one more short one, that because of what's it? I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry. Who read about his sister who passed away.
Yes, Trey. And
Is called,
mhm.
this one is called Kim, who was the name of my brother, who I lost when he was just a teenager. And it's much more inscrutable. Okay, sorry about that. Welcome to my poetry. There he stood, delineated beautifully. Timed past for us, a map of the Indus apart. And he was, and the valley was, glad to meet. And I could clearly unearth, explain the glittering path he'd never left, never had perished, that from all the globe was somebody else. Her gold migrated, was a nobody from that ancient land, and had remained outward to be whisked to where every speck, to where he'd been precious metal, whole, living a life we'd never found, or a life without us undiscovered. And when I woke, came to, rested, to bless, I had to call for our brother, us with the soft gold news, with the smoothest luster. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing from such depths and wonderfully crafting your message. Those are all really well done, Joy. No worries.
I'm taking part in a year-long course through the Daily Om. You guys can look it up, and it's called something about the authentic self. And I'm supposed to write a poem every week. That long poem that after that Vespers, man, that put me several weeks behind, honestly, but I'm gonna catch up. That's okay. But that one put me several weeks behind. It took a while. But I find you might notice there's like some similar stuff coming out as I work through the prompts that, and it's not a poetry writing course. It's just writing prompts, write essays sort of thing. But that's not what I'm going to do with prompts, So, but anyway, that's why things are sort of a little bit, I don't know, weird or something.
Not weird, no
listening.
weirdness, no
Thank
judgment zone. No judgment zone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, if it's okay, I'm going to read 2 and then we can close up. Okay, this first one, I'm not sure when I wrote it. I think about 6 months ago. It's called Science Fiction or Reality. Where dirt comes from, we are one with the earth despite our fastidious scrubbing to stay clean. If we don't save the planet, we will become extinct. We've known since the 1960s. Now we have to stop the clock on drilling and feasting off resources and consider our fate. God doesn't want us to be passive on this planet, but to do good in God's name each day instead. An act of God guides the heart, not the wallet. Check my horoscope for how I'll be feeling today. Check the forecast for summer rain. Bring it. Lightning and thunder. Rain on my parade. The sniper who with the rifle on the roof killed 6 people is taken alive. He's white. The black man in Ohio, unarmed and running, did not survive 60 rounds, but they handcuffed him after the fact anyway. Fighting on July 4th somewhere in the world, here, about rights versus rights, separation of church and state, the Constitution, cult of personality, we have to choose. I do my best. I'm a mess, just the same. Sadness becomes a Sunday night, headed home after the magical weekend. Reality becomes what's on TV. Reality hits each Monday. Storms fall out of nowhere from the sky. We desperately need the water. Science fiction meets reality when the Hunger Games become real. And this one I wrote last week, over a period of 2 weeks in the early part of June to last week. Actually, June's almost gone. It's called Natural Magic. The magic of summer in early June. At dusk, birds chatter with each other across the tops of trees. We're just beginning to see growth in the garden. It will be exponential. Fireflies alight from their hiding places bring fairy dust to the foreground of night. Enter my dream retina. What is to be remembered of this night? We ascend steps of the subconscious as we fall asleep. Night resurfaces like an ocean of silvery fish. Your imagination is real as dreams. It is the same thing. It's not a video game. It's an AK-15. We can dream better than that. Remember to smile, even with dark humor. A smile still lights up the world. God is a feeling of spirit inside. God is community with others. Angles of wind vent the bending trees. Golden leaves fall in the breeze like cherry blossom petals. Creamy magnolia blossoms celebrate the sky. Shedding petals, now it's June, a blushing bride. Now it's mid-June, and where does all the time go? The few early bees are the only bees for now. 3 goldfinches arrive to the first sunflower, then chirp back, hello, on the telephone wire above us. As I click my tongue, they nod back respect. I welcome them to our oasis of flowers. When we began, we were bugs in a pond, ever vigilant, but playing with the surface. It is the time of crisp daisies, dark pink coneflowers facing up to the sun, second flush of scented, luscious roses, daylilies rush to be in just one day. Green jade bones are fragile, aching all over, but having a day. Wait for fatigue to pass each morning, then go outside to play. When the mosquitoes got so bad in the summer in the 1960s, we'd have to stop playing. Call us all inside while they sprayed DEET on our suburban street. Jimi Hendrix's Voodoo Child was background noise to the poison. Now chemicals superfluous in the air. To be like a rose, simply open, flamboyant, fabulous, innocent, all to attract you to her center. She's only there to trade nectar for pollen with you. Nature, life, some kind of masterclass on every level. Every day that dawns, a fresh start to breathe, learn, grow. My heart, my body, aching, bruised, healed and soothed by this very natural magic of summer every time. Thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much, Spoke. Thank you so much. Yay. What a wonderful time. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. Thank you, Finn.